Cadre comme Princess Kaya, Chairperson on General Affair, Comrade Cadre, Comrade MSH, representative of the Yoba Johnson School, Comrade Cadre, Comrade Amos Jr., co-chair on operation. I would like to reduce my hat about this time to also recognize one of the veterans in our midst. In NASCAR, we believe in tradition, and traditions are to be obeyed. I will not recognize one person, and that person will be recognized by one of the most vibrant, strongest, and one of the most boss of the National Student Committee of Liberia. So, this guy is the brain behind all of the things that is going on here. So, Comrade Cadre, Comrade Otavia James, who is the General Secretary, I will let them reduce my hand about this time to recognize him, who will introduce our today's press conference and also introduce to you the spokesperson for today's press conference. Thank you very much. Comrade.
Congress, compeers, and students of the Republic of Liberia, our first day want to thank you for taking your time, your chances to appear to this press conference. It is important that we recognize your appearance and your resilience to accept this particular course. And honestly, the National Student Command of Liberia, in collaboration with similar objectives to ensure that Liberia students be liberated from the enigma or the stagnations of misunderstanding and the kind of options that would lead to mass failures into public examinations. We have come today in collaboration to ensure that Liberian students be tutored and be aware to discover the strategies and processes that lead to a successful public examination. So because of that, I am being sanctioned, I am being ordered, I am being promoted to introduce the chair or the president of our noble organization, the National Student Command of Liberia, NASCAR. But this is what we must do as student leaders or students of the Republic of Liberia. The essence of true education is to be critical. You must know your rights. You must know your function as a patriot. Or you must also know your right as a true citizen of a particular nation. Yes. And as such that students must be taught these kind of necessary things that will lead to a progressive nation. Today, we are here in collaboration with the Saving Children Across the Nation, SCAN, and we say big thanks to the CEO of SCAN. She is the goddess of the sun, Madam Scan C. Johnson, who have played a pivotal role to sponsor, to also amend the efforts of the National Student Command to ensure that we hire or we convince or we talk to professional instructors in different disciplines that you are able to go take. Subjects, mathematics, physics, chemistry, history, and sciences. And as such that we must never in our lifetime unrecognize these kind of efforts, because these are things that lead to transformation. These are things that lead to a civilized society. You are all students, and we are calling other students who are not aware. This is the essence. This is the true essence of the press conference. There are students in the Fonfon domain of Masurado County that are not aware, or administration. We have tried in our little effort, because the national student movement, which is supposed to be the cradle of hope of student movement, the Liberia National Student Union, Federation of Liberia Youth, Monroe Union, to be the co-sponsor of these kind of processes, are not aware. And because they are not aware, and because they do not have the understanding that masses of our students, so because they do not care, they are not being able to inform students that they must study, they must be tutored, they must be informed to discuss strategies of WASH. WASH is not only taking Liberia. Comrades, WASH is not only taking Liberia. WASH is the whole continental examination. The continental examination, Africa as a continent, WASH takes over, especially West Africa. So it's a regional continental examination. But this is what we have to say. Besides giving you the opportunity today to launch the program, that you will have different instructors in different disciplines to be able to teach you or tutor you or to remind you of all that you have learned in Sinha, so that you will go to the process with confidence, with courage, and fast vehemently. This is what we are here. I'm under with the responsibility to introduce the students of the revolutionary students at the passionate revolutionary who have decided within the human community to bring you liberation. So I will start with the official spokesperson of our movement, Comrade Revolutionary Matt Dolobe. He is the official of our movement, official spokesperson of our movement. And then I will tell you that the president who is responsible for academic affairs, he was the one who crafted, he was the one who thought that there should be a national impeachment platform for students in Motorola County. Since we are based in Motorola County, Comrade Samuel Star. So, fast starting there. This is Comrade Amos Sir David Jr. He is the co-chair for operation, and he is an intellectual, and a revolutionary by excellence. And we will say to you that this is the lady who chaired the General Bureau. We call Precision One. She understands the affairs of women and she understands the advocacy of women participation into moral and political structure. An evidence of that, she is Princess Kayi. You can check her Facebook page and you understand her advocacy that she's very, consistent in her advocacy. And we have our irregular of festival in a fasting period. She has been able to summon comrades. She has been able to summon the temerity to solve the possible issues in advocacy. She is also the financial secretary general of our movement. And we have the chairman on mobilization and movement.
So continuations of the as a continuation of the National Students Command of Liberia, and in collaboration with an organization called SCAM, featured in across the nation, until they launched the enhancement classes for 12 graders within Maxwell County. Due to the West African Senior Secondary Certificate Examination, that's WAX 2024. And so they are here at the Conway High School here in Batnaville Estate, where school students from different institutions they are here represented to get some materials and also to aid them and nurture them for the pending what's ahead. So folks, whatever you're watching from, however you're watching, this is Proud Online Television. My name is Rufus Divine Jr. Don't go away, keep watching.
Intellectual lives and get you less moral. We are here now to give you the direct tutoring. I am not the official spokesperson and I am not a conveyor of the message that we are involved to give you. And today, Amanda! We don't have the luxuries of time to introduce all of the comrades because the time is scheduled to conduct the first class of the National Student Command in collaboration with Saving Children across the nation SCAN. We will not reduce our past. We will not reduce our intellectual understanding to introduce to you the president, the leader, the man who is being sponsored by the entire gallantry of NASCO. That is the National Student Command of Liberia, to unveil to you the purpose and the responsibility for which we are gathered here. And I saw that tell you, and then we can conduct our first class or the first classes that will be conducted today. So I am Otavia Benseda James. Remember my name and interact with me after the press conference. Thank you very much.
Àwọn yàrá away from that school. Mama no dey o. Baba no dey o. You want to get in Yaga. Àwọn yàrá away from that school.
Press conference for immediate release. Man, can't take control from the phone. National Conference of Liberia and the 7 chairman cross nations launched the National Enhancement Class for all 12 period in most of the country. Liberia, West Africa, falls under the administration of President Joe Biden to provide funds and adequate equipment at various government institutions in the country with respect to the following high schools: Dive Public School, Balance Public School, East General Guru Memorial High School, and a special project High School in Stephen Tower ST. Critiques the so-called asset recovery and property retrieval core team assigned by President Joe Biden and cautioned the CDC gateway to keep quiet during the time of moral debates and national reform.
Fellow
compatriots and student radicals, men and women of historical relevance, ideologues in apology of social justice, members of the working class, the minimum wage and domestic laborers and marketeers, the media and the press, we extend pan-African rare salutations to you for the apex of genuine advocacy concomitantly the National Student Committee of the Republic of Liberia. The National Student Committee of the Republic of Liberia, in collaboration with the 7 children across nations, launched a national enhancement class for all 12 graders within the domain of most of the country, Republic of Liberia. NASCO has a student movement with its modus operandi squared about protecting the Liberian students' interests and as well as volunteering to ensure the academic excellence becomes the hallmark of the day in the Lone Star Republic. Whereas scared with which carries the mantra of redeeming the lost hope of children across the nations, especially in Africa, as two distinct institutions with similar objectives for the purpose of improving the livelihood of young people. We have a joint solidarity under the team, enhancing knowledge to increase the number of successful candidates in the West African Senior Secondary Certificate Examination, WAS 2024.
The student will power work.
We have decided to provide tutorials voluntarily for all 12 graders within most of the country, Republic of Liberia. The true essence of this exercise is to uncover strategies that will boost the students' confidence, rehearse and refresh their minds on their lessons. We have been able to convince qualified and competent professional teachers in every discipline of subject to tutor these students under the ambience of NASCO and SCIEN. Therefore, we call on all high school administrations and students within the domain of Maswalo to take advantage of this exercise in order to have a flying color in the WAS 2024. More so, recognize and acknowledge the magnanimity of SCIEN's CEO, Madam Goddess Kenzie Johnson. We extend our pan-Africanist red, green, and black salutations to our heroic resilience and gallantry towards the students' interests and the future of our country, Liberia. NASCO, as a student-based movement, has the responsibility to monitor and assess the environments on which the vast majority of Liberian students, the minimum wage laborers, children are subjected to attain quality education. This includes constant engagement with our students in various government schools across the nation, especially in most of the country, for the purpose of advocating for an enabling environment to ensure that there are smooth academic learning processes in every government school. As part of our responsibility, we have toured some of the most populated government schools in most of our country. We have derived at a conclusion from our observation that most of these government schools lack every seating capacity, science laboratory, armchairs or desks, decent restrooms, and proper monitoring and evaluating systems for the Ministry of Education. Thus, NASCO called the administration of Joseph Boakai to provide funds and adequate equipment that could remedy these horrible and deplorable conditions in these various government schools.
NASCO come for you. Say yo. If you don't provide, we'll come for you. Stupid Boakai. Yo.
communities. This is a clarion call to the rescue mission of deep and necessary that with the following schools on the headland, Deep Public School, Bannock Public School, East General Green Memorial High School, and Special Project High School. These schools have been visited by the leaders of our organizations, and the evidence that learning conditions are horrible and disparaging. Let the Ministry of Education take heed, or the students will stampede themselves into history anytime soon. NASCO has a movement deeply entrenched with student radicals, intelligentsias, crusaders of social justice and peace, enthusiasts of good governance, and national patriots, has taken keen interest in the executive order issued by President Joseph Juma Boakai, establishing the Asset Recovery and Property Retrieval Code team. Let this maxim be made clear that we do not oppose any constitutional mandate, neither are we against or for those who have been accused of corruption and bad governance over the last 6 years. However, we are interested in the pursuit of social justice without any form of prejudice, hatred, and hypocrisy. Therefore, we see the reckless imposition of the so-called Asset Recovery and Property Retrieval Code team as a direct opposite to the mantra of the rescue mission, simply because the manner in which the team was recruited falls below the compass of natural justice. Equally so, we recognize that the procedure to derive an asset recovery are not being exercised and exhausted fully. President Joe Boakai should not gloss over his #1 promise to audit every government agency. As students of administration and governance, we are cognizant of the reality that there is no proper recovery in the absence of an audit.
Long live! The general advocacy of NASCO, long live!
Long live!
You don't finish auditing, then you come for asset recovery. Boakai, see what put that data to himself.
It is ambiguously comical to hear the announcement of names of people who were fierce critics of those in government yesteryears. And we see this as the accusers being the investigators and serving and judging in their own cause. Therefore, NASCO call on President Boakai to redirect his so-called asset recovery and property retrieval code team by following the procedures of audit and investigation before asset recovery in order to avoid provocation among our people that are tantamount to creating political bad blood, havoc, and political anarchism. NASCO also front at a reckless statement coming from the political opposition party, coalition for democratic change CDC, through the 8th Secretary General, that none of the former government officials should submit to investigation or anything that has to do with audit and asset recovery.
The so-called CDC and friends, say you. All the okay thing is coming. As
a political leader, if you are still suffering from electoral trauma, or if you miss your position of privileges, do not bend your misery and frustration on the order and the social contract between you and the state. We have never seen in our lifetime any hypocrisy that will lead a man into illusion of a mere arrogance. The CDC must see itself as an opposition political party that should subject itself to the rule of law. The law is the law. The Constitution must be the only tool to oppose any decree or consensus. Let the gateway of the CDC be made aware that after 6 years of leadership, the people still hold them accountable for the survivability of the country and not to in the Assets and Property Retrieval Code team. We front at a reckless statement made by the Koji simply because it is downright reactionary order. Therefore, we demand that the gateway of the CDC keep quiet during the time of moral debate. Long live the National Student Committee of the Republic of Liberia.
Long live!
Long live the student interest.
Long live!
Aluta.
Manda! Sayo! Boakai, come down like asset recovery. Sayo! CDC, you can work on the people. You still want quality. Then you can come up with asset recovery.
Viva, NASCO, viva! Thank you very much. The president of the National Student message from the angle of students who have burning desire for teachers in the administrative structures, and the functioning of governance, and we take this responsibility as student advocates and advocates to also ensure that our Liberian students are successful in public examination. And as
Thank you very much. Remember the class, fellow students, we thank you for listening here. Now we open the podium to the class for questions.
Yeah, thank you. My name is K. Lyndon Choba, and I report for Foka Online TV. I'm a bit more concerned. The overall objective of this initiative is entirely important, but I'm particular about the mobilization of resources to facilitate this particular cause. How are you going to get those resources to execute this overall objective?
So thank you, Lino. The point is there is a collaboration, and you know that through the grace of God and those that understand what education is, there is a means that we have a way to support the program. So I think you don't need to worry about that. As you can see, the students are already here and they're about to attend the first major classes today. So you don't need to worry about that. The funds are been secure and everything is on course.
Okay, my name is Rufus Devan Brooks, and I report for Prime FM, Prime Online Television. I'm concerned. My concern has to do with the assets recovery team that you mentioned in your press release, and you also mentioned about the audit. I mean, I'm a bit concerned. What's the issue with doing an audit and also doing the asset tax recovery at the same time?
So there is no way that you can have a proper way to retrieve property of government when you have not gone through the regular process of investigation and audit. So we say to you that based on the fact that this few days we saw a means wherein people property was seized, we have proper information, and at the end of the day, the Supreme Court, through Justice Yusuf Kabal, and subpoena them to return the people properties. It was based on the fact that they did not follow the regular procedure. So we are saying to President Joe Kwakai, he should do his audit. After audit, do investigation, they can retrieve the property when it is proven.
Okay, my last concern: how many schools are you working with within this county?
20 to 15 schools within. 15 to 20 schools within the first phase. This is the first phase of the National Enhancement Program.
And how's the upliftment process is? Or has been? How's the upliftment process has been? The upliftment, in terms of getting finance, members, schools to join you in the process of this initiative that your organization is uplifting.
But like you can see that everything is on course. Like I said to Lyndon, we have everything in total pari-passu, and the aspect of the teaching and the resources, I think the only thing we have to do is to appreciate God, because God has worked ministry, and this has been a serious way to appreciate skin and that of all those that are supported the process. So you don't need to worry about that. Everything is on course about the resources.
It is not being sponsored by any political party?
No.
Great.
For my end, my name is Enhancem Jara. I do for Jara TV. Over you, I think the spokesperson talking about only in Morado County. Basically, that's where your strength at. So what happened to the other counties?
Oh, thank you. And this is what we're saying about resources. If you want to call the 15th political subdivision Liberia, it means you will have a serious financial backing. But the fact that we don't have that, we don't want to be a deceit to ourselves, right? So what we do is that what we can reach to is what we go for. We went for Masquerade County because this is the pilot project. This is the first enhancement class that been run by the National Student Congress of Liberia. We do not expect us to go to Liberia countries. And we can show you that in subsequent time, there will be an extension of our tentacles and you'll see the progress in almost all the countries.
I heard you talking about President Boaka should do more providing resources for public schools, which is good. But now, on the other hand, you are still blasting the man who you want to do more. Henceforth, let's just say, howbeit, have you reached out to the Ministry of Education in seeking these awareness that you're talking about, that there's no major decks or armchairs in the Have you ever reached the Minister of Education to at least speak your mind or set forth your plan?
But we don't need to remind them of our responsibility. The first thing, Jara, we have to be very sincere to ourselves. The fact is that the mutual education and that of the entire government is responsible to provide adequate learning facility for these students. So if you are a minister of education and the public schools don't have armchairs, should we go and remind you of your responsibility? The answer is no. Should we remind the government that you don't need money to run on day-to-day activities and need a better environment to learn? No. But since they are behaving adamant to the process, we serve as whistleblower. So at the end of the day, what we do is that we bring this to the attention of the national actors and tell that indeed, through our investigation our thought, there have been no major facility at the various schools that we just highlighted. And there are more. And like we said, the bathroom for the various public schools are deplorable. Our sisters, our students, they receive infections, and at the end of the day, you do not have a serious medical facility or area in Liberia to treat them. And at the end of the day, these students lost their life, and when these things are not done, it becomes our responsibility to come out and tell the government that this is what needs to be done. So we don't need to remind them.
So one would say, looking at the time they are spent in office, and also looking at the Ministry of Education, don't you think those are also concerns from other institutions, organizations that are currently on the desk of the Ministry of Education?
When it is a concern to other institutions as far as concerned, government's continuity.
Have you visited those schools that you made mention of?
For real, and they are here.
Yeah, how many schools you visited?
We visited Banambe Public School, visited Ijeno Govish Memorial School, visited Special Project School, visited Disney Public School, and the rest of the other schools that are near us.
And they also have the same problem.
For real. And that's why we raise that as a major concern.
All right, I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question that talks about the overall objective of this exercise. Your overall objective of this exercise is intended for all of the students to have a successful pass during the course of the public test. I am much more keen about the science component. Over the period of time, investigation has showed that one of the reasons why Liberian students fail is because they do not have some of the advanced laboratory. What are you going to do in the wake of addressing those issues?
So, Lalino, what we say is that we made mention of that in our press release. We said we don't have a major component of the students that should facilitate that learning. That is a science laboratory. It is there. And you don't expect the National Student Congress of the Republic of Liberia to go and provide science laboratories. No. We do not want to be infallible hypocritical to ourselves. So the hypocritical for the fact that we say to you that NASCO can bring science laboratories, it is something that we have to place for the maxim or the annals of history. But that's what we can say to you. What we do is, we take our concern to the Ministry of Education, that is the national government, raise this concern to them. It is responsible to provide these facilities. So at the end of the day, what we do is, the students are coming for the national enhancement classes. Basically, we focus on the sciences, where they'll be taught the alternative to practical, because that is what WAS have given as a means to help them to go through the process. So, as we are advocating, we know there are other people out there. If they can come in with our support to say, yes, indeed, we can build national laboratories for school students intend to do. The movement is we can write other project proposals to other institutions, like other embassies and major NGOs around. And when they see it feasible, they call us and justify us rapidly, these facilities can be built. But for us, for them. So I truly appreciate your time, Focal Evan family, Private family, Gerald TV, the OK Evan family. Thank you for being here today. And we say to you that take the news as you are doing and always keep a drop on time. Thank you very much. Amanda and the show continue our way to.
All right, so folks, that's the president of the National Students Men of Liberia. Today they had a press conference reminding raising some issues concerning RGS, bathrooms, and other things in public schools to President Joseph Nwabwaka. So thank you so much for following. My name is Rufus Divan Brooks Jr. We'll be back very, very shortly.